real conversation with Coach Aniekan, and I am really, really excited. Really excited.
Wow.
I'm really excited. Let's run some things. I'll be back.
Okay, sir.
Welcome back. My name is Aniekan Joshua White. I know some of you know me, but I'll just run that again. And for the past 2.5 decades, I've been helping people at a crossroad make profound transitions where they can turn their greatest dreams to their extraordinary realities. As a transformational life coach, I work with professionals, creators, aspiring entrepreneurs, and authors. So if you are in any of those categories, please stay tuned, because the next 60 minutes I'm going to be talking about how do you get answers to the life-centered issues that people like you are asking. So please stay till the end. There'll be a release of all my books today. And I also have my very good friend. So with me today, because it's Zimako. Now, most of you know her. You know she's the cross president of UBMINC, based in Maryland, United States. So Ngozi, welcome.
Hey. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How you doing?
Nice to have you.
Good to be
Before we get started in the conversation, a big shout out to the sponsor of today's real conversation. I'm just going to hear from them.
Welcome to the Lekki Coliseum, your luxury lifestyle destination resort that takes care of your exquisite events, luxury hotel, cinema, and retreat needs right in the heart of Lagos. The 44-room Caesars Luxury Hotel has generous space, large windows, walk-in shower, and bathtub, and its signature complimentary breakfast in bed.
The hotel is one of the most beautiful hotels I have ever stayed in.
All rooms at Caesars have free all-day access to the cinema. Luxury has an address. It's Caesars. The majestic Imperial Hall, 1,000 banquet seater, 2,000 theater seater, 200 mezzanine seating allows for celebrants to drive right into the event hall. Try the 400-seater Skyview Hall, located 24 meters high in the sky, filled with clear glass windows and doors to give you a landscape view of Lekki, Ikoyi, Oniru, and Victoria Island. The Skyview is the tallest event hall on the island of Lagos. Try the lush signature 30-seater private cinema for your movie premieres and private shows. The multi-purpose conference hall is ideal for your retreats, meetings, and training. Our generous car park accommodates 500 cars, ensuring your maximum comfort at all times. The Lekki Coliseum has a no-face mask, no entry policy, and it is a requirement to go through the sanitizing chambers to come in. The Lekki Coliseum is at plot 14 Providence Street off Admiralty Way, Lekki Phase 1, Lagos. For more inquiries, call 0902-660-0851, 0701-278-4393, or 0908-588-8884. The Lekki Coliseum, redefining events, hospitality, and entertainment.
So welcome back. A special thanks to our sponsor, and we want to kind of zoom in on that. So welcome back. Now, I keep hearing this story, but before we do that, a shout out to those that sent in these questions. I hope you can get to see them. How can one start in a new field of business? We'll talk about that a bit today. And then someone said, how do I get started? And I'm asking, started what? Started dating, started going out, started swimming. I'm sure AI would give us a bit of clarity to that. And then AO from Abeokuta says that she is here to learn and be guided. So I would ask at the end of it, I hope that you've been getting that from the program. Now, this is the story that has been trending. I'm asking people around, and I'm hearing at my age, I feel like I'm so far behind are not anywhere close to where I thought I'll be, have, or do at this stage of my life. But some folks even ask themselves, so what's happening? Why am I struggling with the same old things for years now? Or is it at my age, at this age of my life, I have envisaged I'll be a lot higher, I'll be somewhere else, I'll be maybe married or with children, or my children are graduated or whatever it is, or I thought I'll be further ahead and all of that. Now, sometimes it's possible that even though so many people, even though you've made mistake, you didn't do what you're supposed to do. Sometimes it's not what you did, it could have been what you did not do. But we would look at all of that today. I have my very good friend Gozi Zimako with me, and I wanted to ask her, because I know that she too gets to talk to a whole lot of people. Do you hear questions like that? NG, why am I here? I thought I'll be further forward. I don't know. Do you hear questions like that? Because I've been hearing them a lot, at least since we're coming into this year.
Hi, Coach Aniekan, and hi, Coach BB and everyone. Good to be here again. Can you guys hear me well?
Loud and clear.
Awesome.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. And I'm thinking that also crops up because of the age group that we are, the age range that we all are now. We have a lot of people who feel unaccomplished for one reason or another. And I have some answers that I give them. And I guess at the appropriate time in this session today, I would share when you do give me the mic to share some thoughts. But yes, I do hear it a lot. I remember the last time I was with you guys, we talked about retirement, and people are not even thinking that route because they're just not even where they want to be now. Talking about retirement, seriously. So yeah, but yes, I do. That's the short answer.
Anybody else? Have you had those questions, or maybe you're asking those questions yourself? So go ahead. You can either, if the way you are is not quiet enough, you can go ahead and open your mic. Let me hear. Are there questions that you're hearing, or is just some certain people that are asking that question? But I'm sure if you're 16 or that, but I don't think you hear kind of question like that. So go ahead. Let me hear your opinions.
Yeah, I think anybody above 40, 45, in most circles, you would definitely come across someone who either says that to you categorically or asks you in a cunning manner, someone telling you, hey, what do you think we can do? And you give an idea, I say, at this age. So, what they mean is, come on, that's off it. So when I tell people, oh, start with what you have, where you are, and start it now, they smile most times. I can see behind the smile is at what age. But some people seem to give you the benefit of doubt. So I see, I've met someone who sent me 3 options of what he could do at his age. He has retired, but he realized that sitting down on his hands ain't just going to move this rock at all. So people do that. And I think I wouldn't lie. I've also been at that crossroad when I would say, oh, I thought at this age I will be farther than this, I will be deeper than this, I'll be wider than this. I wouldn't lie that has also come across my mind. Of course, with knowledge, you get to understand better that some things you dream about, well, they weren't your dream at all. You borrowed the dream. There was no point in chasing that dream. It was just going down the rabbit hole. And you find where your space is and begin to grow in that place. So it's rampant. It's a very rampant question to you.
Thank you very much, Coach Bibi. I truly appreciate that. If you have never asked yourself this question before, then maybe you're not living in this part of this world that we're living on. Because it gets to a time, and why do people ask themselves that question really? It's beyond my age. It's beyond the things I've done or not done. I think most times when we start doing that, we are looking either away from ourselves at some, because guess what, when that comes up most, you're with your friends, you both went to school, for instance, and you guys are out of school maybe 15, 20 years now. And then you look at them, you look at what they are doing, and then you look at yourself and you're wondering, I don't think I'm anywhere close to where I would have been, because unconsciously you're comparing yourself to Now,
Mhm.
let me say this, okay? It's possible that you missed opportunity. Yes, I did. It's possible that I should have gone left, but I went right. Yes, I did. It's possible I should have said yes, but I said no. I did. But I tell you something very, very honestly. Everything that has happened before now has happened to bring you to where you are now. What you do from now would make what has happened tiny matters. Someone told me that what is behind you is in the tomb. Nothing. You can flog it, it's gone. What do I do? Okay, so I had an opportunity to do something 10 years ago, I couldn't do it. So what about now? I should have started my business 10 years ago. I didn't. What about now? I should have thought about retirement 5 years ago. What about now? I should have started investing. Maybe I should have caught the what's that thing called, the Bitcoin or the Tesla stocks back then. I did not. What about now? As long as you understand that the best of your years are ahead of you, the way you look at them will differ. And you see, life is about perception. The very minute you think, I made a mistake, so well, I deserve it, I caused it, I did not, you put yourself in a place that you can't move from where you are. Angie, what do you think? Maybe I'm just thinking out loud here, but what do you think?
No, I totally agree with you. And another thing that Bibi touched on, a lot of people are living other people's lives. So you said something that perhaps when you come amongst friends and you look at where they are, how do you know where they are? Really, from what you see superficially? You really don't, So truth be told is one of the questions or one of our rebuttals to people who say, I'm this age, I'm not where I want to be, etc., pretty much needs to be, what goals did you really set? Maybe, come on now. What did you, when you say, I'm supposed to have been, so you're in, I'm in Maryland, so I'm going from my city to DC, and I'm not really where I needed to be. Where was I going? Perhaps I started heading towards New York, and then I'm like, I'm really not in DC. Did you plan to go to DC or you plan to go to New York? Because if you're on your way, if it's up somewhere between Baltimore and New York, then perhaps you are where you planned to be or didn't plan to be. So the first question, one very good question for this kind of people, I would say, in my opinion, is what were your plans? What are you saying? What are you weighing? Did you have any KPIs? Did you have any goals? Was there somewhere, where were you supposed to be? Because remember that in that phrase lies in where I'm not where I'm supposed to be, right, Bibi? Guys, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. So the question now is, where were you supposed to be? I bet you most of the people that would be able to respond will probably say, now at this age now, there's somewhere we're supposed to be. Where? Who dictates where you're supposed to be? So perhaps if you don't have it, it's true. If you don't have anything you're shooting for, pretty much, how would you get anywhere? So I think that's the fundamental, and that's what happens to a lot of people. If you grew up in our background, I can see that Abiola is Nigerian. Giselle, I can't tell where you're from. It seems like an African name as well. Many of us didn't get a lot of guidance. So it's not like here, like in the States, where you have your kids are going to school and they have counselors who can determine what their strengths are, etc., etc. We pretty much had to figure it out ourselves. We're in a college, even we came out of college and didn't even know where we're going. Hopefully like one connection or something or the other, you found yourself in one space, and you know what I mean? So in the absence of guidance from a younger age, you pretty much have to almost grow up in the dark. I mean, thank God for the Holy Spirit that we have as Christians. You grow up in the dark, you make mistakes, you fail, you better fail fast, you better fail forward, and just keep going. So where are you? So my advice to those people who are saying those things, now's the time to start. Forget that age factor. Forget all the regrets of before. Forget that you didn't even have an opportunity. All of us here that are talking didn't have, it was never really a level playing field from the conditions from where we came from. So we pretty much hustled to get to where we are. And again, where we are, I'm happy with where I am because at some point in time in my life, after doing Aniekan, we're on the journey together. We've all done start this business, close this business, roller coaster, up, down, and the other. But I'm sure that even you, I mean, I'm so proud of you, Aniekan, because you stuck with coaching, you stuck with this, you stuck with it, right? So you can see the results you're getting today. I'm stuck with what I'm doing now for a period of time, right? But if you check out those people, they've done, and it's okay. You've tried this business, you've started that hustle, you've gone back and forth. But you know what? Since you're now telling yourself this, that you're not where you're supposed to be, this is the time to focus on one thing. I'm not saying we all say that there's multiple streams of income and all that, but at the same time, Bibi and Aniekan and all of you, Abiola, you can tell yourself, I know that you know that even though that we look forward to multiple streams of income, there's a focus.
True.
We're focused on one thing. So those people need to focus on that one thing that they've been called to, not what Coach Bibi is doing, not what is moving, not what people say is popular, but what you have been called to do. And then therein, in the midst of all that, other streams will come out of it. That's what I have to say.
It's interesting that you say that, NJ, because about 4 years ago, I sat with a music, someone who, this guy writes music, awesome guy, he writes music. And he had taken one of my coaching classes. So we sit and I sat and he was talking with me. And I've learned something in this trade that I'm in, that a lot of times my growth has come from being honest, being open, and just being in that place of, I want to help you, and forget about me, I want to help you move forward. You know, sometimes you try to make people move forward so that they can come back and benefit you, kind of position you, make you, for a better word, maybe make you one position so that I can always knock your door at midnight and do. First of all, I'm not of that school. I don't know how to do that. I've never known how to do that. And for me, I think it's too late to learn to do that now. So I said something to him. I said, so tell me, he said his life was going in so many directions. I said, okay, that's good. At least your life is going somewhere. So let's look at this. And we began to look at the different directions his life was going and realized that, as you said, there's one major driving force, one major driving thing, one thing that wraps up everything. The rest things were like as if they were like support for that one thing. So I said to him, you know the way a train runs? A train has carts that it pulls, but the main engine is in the front of it. He said, yes. I said, you need to find that front thing and it will pull other things with it. If you don't do that, you would keep struggling with trying to go here, listen, find that main thing. And then we began to brainstorm together and he found it. He realized he wanted to make an extra $3,600 in addition to what they were making collectively in his home every month. And I told him, once you do that, it will pull everything. He was making more than that in about 2 months. So if you find that main thing that drives you, so yes, you like writing, okay? So yes, you like, what do you like? You like coaching. Yes, that's good. You like training. Beautiful. You like whatever it is that you like. Listen carefully. Find that one thing. You see, you can have so many passions. That's okay. But there's one driving. See, God always gives us one. He gives you one message. But that message can be heard in different formats. But it's always one. It's not two messages. It's not, you're not doing two things. But those of you who know me, I've not done any other thing. I have always done things to aid this first thing that I do. Because it's not, as I said to you, coaching is not something that I do. It's who I am. So when I sit down with someone and they're telling me what's going on in their life and I'm talking with them, I'm always talking from a perspective of coaching. How do I help them? What are they not seeing? What should they be looking at? At the same time, stay away from advising people also, because I think sometimes people just want to hear opinions or hear hear people validate what they are thinking without thinking outside the box. I was asking this morning in our division, I said, why do we kind of shy away from prayer? I was in a prayer meeting on Tuesday, and I asked the pastor, I said, why do people not, when it comes to prayer, people don't, go towards it? Why is it that it's if you tell them now that come and lose your generational wealth, they will come and secure your retirement, people will rush, come and get your visa to whatever, people will rush. But when it comes to let's pray, people don't rush. And we realize that sometimes because we don't understand what the essence of something is. So what's that main thing that drives you? What's that one thing? Honing on that, study, learn, perfect that, become a guru in that. Then the other things that you are adding. I did not start writing. Those people that I didn't start writing a book the very minute I started to coach. No, I had to write. As I was writing, it was kind of piling up. It was gathering momentum. I just was writing for writing sake. Some of you don't know that. Someone asked one time, how do I start to write so I can write a book? And I said to them that when I first wrote, I remember when I was writing my newsletter back then, I think it was called Words of Wisdom or something? I can't remember. But someone said to me one time in a group and said, it sounds religious. And that's how nuggets came up for a successful life came up. And I began to harness that. But I was writing. I didn't plan to write a book. I was just writing. And then I realized that after a while, it became, okay, you can actually write a book, because if you put all that you put together, you can actually have a book. But then I just didn't jump to the next day, and I was writing. I'm going to show you a few of my books, but I didn't release them. I said to myself, the same thing I did when I was going to come to Canada. When Dee first told me that, hey, listen, I think we've had enough of Jamaica, we need to move to Canada. I'm like, well, I've not gotten instruction from headquarters. I just don't move because I want to move. I've not gotten a direction yet, so I'm all good here. Then we were going to Bermuda, but we stopped over. We did it through Canada, through Toronto. So as soon as I landed in Toronto, I don't know when I said it out loud. If I would ever live anywhere else, this would be the place I would live, or something about it. I don't know. Now, I didn't know that Dee had heard me, so she's like, okay, and she thought the next day it still didn't work like that. Do you know that I looked for someone who was going to migrate here, a doctor friend of mine, a renowned pediatrician in Jamaica, and I put together his papers, and I just did everything. That's why I came to Nigeria during that period, because I need to come get one of his transcripts in Ife, him there. And then by the time I gave it to him, they didn't call him for any interview. Just called him, go do your medicals, BAB, and they got. So after I did that, same thing I did when we were going to buy a house. I remember that I was hanging out with my friend, Pastor Bola Jagede. We had a room. I had a room. It was okay for me. I could have stayed there for the next 2 years. I planned myself. But Dee was like, we can't stay here. She can't. You get. So I said, okay, give me some time. Then December came, I got my first salary, and I gave everything as possible. And I knew, I was like, I think I'm getting into something here. The next month was January of the next year. And I got my first salary again, because when I joined the company, they had 3, it's bi-weekly, they had 3 salaries in November. So in December, it will only be 1, and then it will be 3 again in January. The 1 was my first. At this time, I know where we were financially. I know that we needed every dime that will come in. I went and gave everything as first fruit. It kind of put my heart in a place of, okay, let's see. The next year came. The first salary that came to me again, I took it in as first fruit. As soon as I did, I just told you, I said, start looking for a place. So she went, looked for an apartment, got the apartment. Even till we moved to the apartment, I never saw the apartment. Oh, you've got the place, no problem. I realized that you need to understand that sometimes there's a certain demand that will come on you, and you need to make where you are going to where you want to go to. So everything that has brought me to where I am now, whether good or bad, has brought me here for a time like this so that I can do the things I was placed here to do. So maybe all that happened, the things you thought was bad, the things that didn't work out well, the things that hit you under the belt, hit you under the waist, all that has happened so that it can bring you to this place. What you do now is critical. So your life is your life. Listen, I'm not saying this will happen, but if you drop dead tomorrow, the world has lost you. There can't be a replica of you. That's just how God created it. There's no two of you. So you could be in the same trade, in the same profession. Trust me, if it's not you, it's not you. Sometimes I don't think we understand our own significance as people or as a person. And therefore, we're trying to find validation in other things. You're trying to get someone to validate you, some business, some job, some government, some of you think, maybe if I traveled, I never wondered, why were you born where you were born? Because it's the thing that makes up what you would accomplish. Why do you think you are in a man's skin or in a woman's skin? Because that's the only place you can stay to accomplish what you were destined to accomplish. So trying to be someone else, trying to be something else is, I told a friend recently, I said, have you noticed that you see someone, you like the person as they are, so you get close and then you now start to change them. I don't like the way your hair is, I don't like the way your this one is, and then after a while, when they change, you now don't like them anymore. Why? Because what you saw that you liked, it's changed. Being ourselves will help you answer that question. I thought I would be ahead now than where I am. And please, 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 this is the other spectrum. People will now say, Angie, I'm sure you heard it, they will say, at least some of our mates are dead. Please, don't compare yourself to anyone that is not. Have you heard the adage that a dog that is alive is better than a dead lion? You say yes. If you have, then please, 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 don't compare yourself to another person, whether he's living or he's dead. The only comparison you are allowed to do is to look back and say, what did I do yesterday? What did I do last month? What did I do last year? How do I move? How do I topple that? I said something to a dear friend. I said, as long as you keep putting one foot in front of the other, in the direction of your goal or your vision or your dreams, one of these days you will wake up and you are in that dream that you thought was a dream some time ago. I've seen people give up just at the ink, at the blink, at the touch line to get into what they have been waiting for. They gave up. Why? Because it didn't work. It does not work for X amount of years and all that. So you need to understand that where you are now may not be where you want to be. Yeah, that's okay. It's all good. But it doesn't mean that you are less. It just means there's more for you to do ahead. and that's what I want to hear. So I don't know if it's some conversation that only someone like me and Angie are having, or it's a conversation that we are also having within yourself. I mean, you're looking at yourself and wondering, maybe I could do more. So let me hear your comments. Let me hear your input to the conversation. So what were your goals and plans? Angie said, ask yourself, where were you supposed to be now? It's critical. Ask yourself that, because sometimes maybe you didn't have a goal. You just wanted to live day to day. Like I know these people do that. So Giselle, please go ahead.
Thank you, Coach. Afternoon, everyone. I think myself, I'll say that I am where I do supposed to be. Why I'll say that? I'll say that because I know that every day to be where we are today, even for the people who doesn't appreciate where they are right now, they are thinking that they're supposed to be somewhere else than where they are. I felt that is like ingratitude attitude, because we have to be grateful every day for where we are, even though we had our goal, our vision to be somewhere else than where we are today. But where we are currently, as my sister spoke earlier, some of us African, we had parents. My dad was a lawyer, but I can tell you, I didn't look like a child of a lawyer. I look like a child of a lawyer because of the money. But in intellectual level, I didn't have it. I learned many things since when I came abroad, that I came to that knowledge because I invest myself. By sending my kids to the university, they became intellectual and they wanted to have intellectual mothers as well. Even though I didn't go to school here in Canada, many of my siblings, my cousins, they are here before me. They didn't take the opportunity to go to college or training or certification program. They enjoy the life that they have. They may speak the same language to say that I am not where I'm supposed to be, but the opportunity has been presented. Nobody took the advantage of the opportunity. So looking back, you will never go forward, because when you are looking back, your face is not forward to see your way, the future. The past does not belong to you anymore. What has happened in the past is not your problem anymore, even though you are responsible for it or not responsible if it's somebody else, or the dead or the living. What I can advise is for you to look, what can I do now? Is the present moment that matters, because what you have today is the time that God has given you. You can do something with it. But the time that is already gone, you can't bring it back. It's already dead and you have to bury it and look like it never happened. From the time where you are, you can do something, you can achieve something. Yes, it's possible. Living in a Western world, I come to understand that my Caucasian people, even though they are 80, they still have dreams, ambitions, and goals. They still have hope for tomorrow. 90 years old people, 90, they want to get married again. Imagine 91 women in my church, she want to get married. She has been married, the husband passed away, but she still want to get married. Those are the people that God wants. We African people, God has helped us to know him. So we have to believe, you still have to have life in you. Abraham was already 100, Sarah died, and he went forth and get married and have children. So that means where you're supposed to be is not a matter of time. You can make it happen within less time than what you had before. So don't beat yourself up by saying that I am nowhere I'm supposed to be. The power is not in your hands. The power is in God's hand. He's the one who gives you the power to make wealth, and the breath in your lungs is the one who gives it to you so that you can have a future. If you don't have breath, you cannot say that I'm supposed to be, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. So where you are right now, you have to say, I am grateful I am where I am. This is where I'm supposed to be. And you will see that you will start growing from great to greater, and you will achieve more. Don't look back. Don't count your mistake. Your mistake was in God's plan. God can change our mistakes, our wrong decisions to success. That is what God does. Every day, sometimes you think that you did you made a good decision, and you find yourself that it was a wrong decision. So I am here just to encourage every one of us. Let us stop beating ourselves up by saying, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Thank God you are where you're supposed to be. That is where you're supposed to be. It doesn't look good to you, but I think there is somebody else who wants to be where you are.
True.
So be grateful. Be grateful. Say just, I'm well. I am really far off. You have to rejoice from where you are. Thank you so much, Coach.
So thank you very much. It's critical that a lot of times we don't look at it from that perspective. We always see the cup as half empty, not half full. And listen, we all have our stories. That's the truth. And our stories come from a lot of things. Some of us some experience, some of us something that was done to us, something that wasn't done to us. We have our stories. But as Giselle said, you can change your narrative from today. Do you still want to live in the limitations of the yesterday, or do you want to kind of set yourself free and look forward to the things you can be, do, and have in the years or the days, the weeks, the months, and the years ahead? I have found out by experience that what has taken some people years to get has taken me fewer years to get. That means some people can even get to do it in fewer years. So I don't know who told you that it's going to take you 10 years to build your wealth. I don't know who told you. I don't know who told you that it's going to take you 10 years to be, do what, and have what you are dreaming to have. It can happen in a moment of time. It could happen in a moment of opportunity. So listen, it doesn't matter where you are now or today. The story is not finished. In fact, the story is not even reached half. The story is about to be written of you. How you now choose to write it, that's on you. It was written before, okay, but how you choose to write it going forward, that's on you. So how would you start to write your new story? How would you start to look at yourself and address yourself and introduce yourself? How do you want to start to do that? How do you want to start to bring yourself in a place that you're not describing yourself when they describe you, you're not describing from the things that you suffer. See, that's one person that she has a very big heart. He has a very big heart. He's always helping. He's always helpful. That's one person that knows what she wants. Like my 6-year-old daughter, Isabel. Oh boy, that little girl knows what she wants.
6-year-old already?
Yeah, she's 6.
Wow.
She's 6.
Go ahead.
She knows what she wants. When I say no, she knows what she wants. And trust me, I would say some things to her and think she would forget. I would say some things to her when she's about to go to bed. And I say, don't worry, I'll do it for you tomorrow. She wakes up the next morning, says, good morning, Jesus. Good morning, Daddy. Good morning, Mommy. And next thing she says is, so Daddy, are we going to? I'm saying, yeah, we'll do it. So I can't even tell her a lie. I can't even tell her. I don't tell her lies anyway, but I can't say to her what I'm not going to do. Right now, she's so tripped about us going to hunt for frogs because there's this movie she watched where this guy took 2 of his sons. They went out to the swamp in Louisiana and they hunt for frogs. They were eating, fish and all that, and crawfish and prawn and all that stuff. That's what Isabel wants to eat now. So Isabel's like, Daddy, where are we going? I'm like, it's still winter, for crying out loud. It's still cold. We can't go yet. He said, yeah, but we have to drive a long way. Now, when you know what you want, we talk about goals a lot. On Sundays in our program, we talk about goals a lot. And sometimes I don't think we understand that it's the thing that is lacking in most people. Direction. That's what I said last week. I said, so what next? Okay, so you have done this. What's next? When you don't know what's next, it really has a way of crippling you. So where are you going to? Why are you going to where you're going? How will you know when you get there? What would you? Those are goals in simple terms. So you have to know your. Ngozi came last time and told us that she's looking at retirement at this particular time. There's a time frame to it. You think she has all the ducks in a row? No, but she's been driven by the vision. And what happens to vision is that they begin to attract the things they need to accomplish themselves. Say why? Because before you get a vision, there's already a provision. There's a provision for the vision. So sometimes I think we kind of beat ourselves and hack ourselves, but you need to understand that your life is already made. There's nothing else to add or subtract. You just need to chip up a few things and start to look at some things from a different perspective. Someone sent a question, how do I start my business? I say you start your business from passion. Interestingly, business that is driven for profit only, don't go too far. Start your business. I tell people, start business with the intention to make it a multi-million, billion-dollar business because you want to sell it. When you have now built it to the multi, don't sell. Someone said to this guy, I was listening to, reading his interview, the guy that owns Amazon, and he said something. He said that, why have you guys grown so large in the last, few years? He said because they consider one thing, customer service. They want to give you a customer relation. Not when I say relation, I mean not just buy this. They want you to have an experience that you will come back even without them doing anything. So they zero down on just being nice to their customers, whether they buy or don't buy. I saw that in Walmart. I thought it was a fluke. Do you know you can buy something in Walmart here in where I live and take it to another city and they will collect it from you? They won't say you didn't buy it here. Once you say this thing is not, come and see the queues to return things. I've seen people take stuff, use it for a weekend and take it back to Walmart. Walmart will take it back from you. Because it's all about the experience that you get, all about the experience that you get. We don't zero in on the value that we bring to people. We don't, because it's easy for us to get caught away with, I need to get here. If you zero down on value, you hone down on value, you keep increasing value, it's what people will never forget. That's why people won't look at how much they paid for the value you bring them, but they will keep on looking at the value you bring them. And when you ask them, but you paid about $10,000 for that value, I think it was a ripoff. Because what the guy gave me was like 20-something thousand, because you're always thinking of value. So, but business people are meant to put value as the key. It may not be the popular thing, it's the thing that will sustain whatever you're doing and give you that bounce back. And for those of you who are looking to start a business, like I know some of you want to start something, I want to ask, when will you start this business? It's already March. Today is March 1st. So when will you start this business? If you've been thinking of starting a business, type yes in the chat. I'm thinking of starting a business, type yes in the chat. Let me be sure that I'm talking to 7 people on the call. So let me just type, you've been thinking of starting a business, you've not started yet. Type yes in the chat. And if you started it, type no. So if you're thinking of a business and you've been asking yourself, oh, yes, wonderful. All right, so you've been thinking of starting a business. So this is my charge to you. When do you want to start? Pull up a sheet of paper now. Now, pull up a calendar now and say, I want to launch my business on this date. And then send that to me privately. So both of us will be seeing you're winking in the dark. I want to start my business. Don't tell me in 3 months' time. That's not a date. Don't tell me I'm going to start my business in summer. That's not a date. Pull out your calendar. When in summer? In the month of July 7th, I want to start my business this year. Just do that. Do that one thing now. Do that said yes. You've been thinking of starting a business, started. Do that now. And then you begin to force, you will not just force yourself, but you begin to force nature to respond to you. You're going to force people who are, I call them, they are in the walls, they are kind of hidden, to show up in your presence because you are now set something. So tell yourself that, stop all this. This is my year. I'm going to start business this year. That's not how it starts. Take out your calendar now. Go to it. I have one here. You can look at it and say, I'm thinking of June. I'm thinking of May or July. I'm starting my business July 10th, May 17th, whatever date. Do that and send that to me personally. And we'll take it from there. Now, let me kind of ease back. Let me hear. You don't have to put up your hand now. Just go ahead and bump in and share your thoughts. And I know that NGC has a few things to share as well. So, but go ahead, open up and let me hear what's what we have said? Maybe it's not occurring to you. Maybe you are okay. You didn't have that kind of challenge. You don't have that kind of challenge. You are okay. But so if you are, I like that. My question would be, who do you know that has that sort of challenge? They're asking themselves, why are they here now? They thought they would be further on. And how can you help them? So how can you take what we shared here to them? And then tell them, hey, listen, where did you hear this? I was in a program on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, I'd like you to come as well. How can you do that? I told you what has made me increase a lot. I get one small thing, I'm teaching it, I'm sharing it, I'm giving it. It's what's made me increase. So it's a law. Seed time, harvest. They don't cease. Make sense? So let me hear your thoughts. Let me hear your thoughts. For those of you who are thinking of starting business but have not started, I know you said yes. You can also let us know what your challenges have been, so that there's somewhere that could help you. Some people are seasoned business persons. They're able to share a few thoughts that could help you make that date you have written, make it solid. So let me hear your thoughts. All right, so this is the quiet time. Wonderful. Let me, one of the things I said I was going to do today, for those of you who turned in earlier, was to release 2 of our books. I'm going to do that very quickly, kind of go through them together. So come with me. I thought that I should hide you. All right, so let me talk a bit about the book releases. Today, releasing 2 of our books. I hope that some of you have seen, but I've seen them. Success takes longer than you think. Brace for it. And also 5 nuggets to help you relax when worried, especially with what we've been going through in the last few years. It's been really demanding. Now, what we've done is made this book easy to read, something easy to consume. Next week, we're going to have another 2 out as well, but we want to make this available. I'm going to share the links to these books. I'm going to share that on the chat, so you can click and go order the book now. But these are the 2 that has been released now. Now, this one's in the making, so we're going to release this in no time. These are the links. If you can take a snapshot of that, well, but if you cannot, I'll share this link on the chat with you. There are other books that we're looking at as well. You are either there or you are not. How your thoughts impact and determine your life's outcome. And then I like this one, 5 essential things that will help you make great first impression. There's also a life project I've been hearing a lot about. Hey, my purpose, and then how do you create videos? I have people who kind of do that as if it's in them. Now, this one I like, 10 steps, is like a cheat sheet to help you launch your new business. It's just 10 key things that you should have. 10 key things to do, not 20, not too many. 10, and if you follow those steps, you'll be able to launch your business or your career. And then we have goal setting, 7 nuggets to setting powerful and achievable goals in today's world. And then the secret of reclaiming your confidence that guarantees success. And those are the things we're looking at. So you will get this is coming out this month. So brace for it. You would have them, but the other 2, I'll share the link. And just to wrap this up, I want to also still shout out to our sponsors.
Welcome to the Lekki Coliseum, your luxury lifestyle destination resort that takes care of your exquisite events, luxury hotel, cinema, and retreat needs right in the heart of Lagos. The 44-room Caesars Luxury Hotel has generous space, large windows, walk-in shower, and bathtub, and its signature complimentary breakfast in bed.
Hotel is one of the most beautiful hotels I have ever stayed in.
All rooms at Caesars have free all-day access to the cinema. Luxury has an address. It's Caesars. The majestic Imperial Hall, 1,000 banquet seater, 2,000 TFL seater, 200 mezzanine seating allows for celebrants to drive right into the event hall. Try the 400-seater Skyview Hall, located 24 meters high in the sky, filled with clear glass windows and doors to give you a landscape view of Lekki, Ikoyi, Oniru, and Victoria Island. The Skyview is the tallest event hall on the island of Lagos. Try the lush signature 30-seater private cinema for your movie premieres and private shows. The multi-purpose conference hall is ideal for your retreats, meetings, and training. Our generous car park accommodates 500 cars, ensuring your maximum comfort at all times. The Lekki Coliseum has a no face mask, no entry policy, and it is a requirement to go through the sanitizing chambers to come in. The Lekki Coliseum is at plot 14 Providence Street off Admiralty Way, Lekki Phase 1, Lagos. For more inquiries, call 0902 660 0851 0701 278 4393 or 0908 588 8884. The Lekki Coliseum, redefining events, hospitality, and entertainment.
Thank you very much. So back to the scene. What's your one takeaway from today's program? And I'm going to like to hear your voice now. What's your one takeaway? What's one thing that you would say you're going to start to implement? It's easy for us to hear, in quote, motivational speech. So it was very motivational. It motivated me to do what. I like to hear what you're going to do with what you heard today. And I kind of take a pause here. So I see, oh, 1st August. Nice. I like that. I like that. I like that. So please go ahead. Tell us, what are you going to do with what you have learned today? I will do that for the next few minutes until we're kind of zeroing for next week. Now, I know that most of you, if you're hearing it for the first time, you attend a Sunday weekly live program, Nuggets for a Successful Life. This month is all about, because we said it's all about women. So it's a women's month. You want to, especially I know I have a whole lot of women here. Blessed am I among women. So please, this month is going to be centered around that. I want you to don't just attend. I want you to be a part of it. So who's going to start? Let me know. I'm going to. I said I'm going to share the links of the books in the chat. So, but go ahead. What is the one thing that, not two things, not three? I know you're thinking about one. What's the one thing that you're taking away? Go ahead.
Hello, Coach.
Hey, Coach Tosi, how are you?
And hello, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon. Wow. I really have to say a big thank you to you and to Mrs. Ngozi Ezimako for performing wonders today. Because really, like the topic spoke directly to me. I should say I'm one of those that always believe in I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Or let me say, because even as at last week, somebody was like, we were talking and the person said, but you can still read law. And I was like, at what age? Seriously, I was like, at what age? But with what happened today, I'm becoming more positive. Let me just say that. That is just my take home for today. Be more positive. Age is just a number. Age is no barrier to whatever you want to do. Age shouldn't disturb you, and you should always be thankful for wherever you are. Because even the post or where you are, you still have people that are wishing to be where you think it's nothing. So I really have to say a big thank you for that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm happy I joined today, and I'm happy I'm able to get new meaning to some things. So Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Abiola. Coach Aniekan, please permit me to say something to Abiola and perhaps to some other people. This would be very helpful. Like, I recently got a revelation on it's sort of like a salve, like something that just gives you comfort. And it responds to this question of I'm not where I need to be. So pretty much, there is no, especially when you've reached an age of accountability, pretty much, I mean, like a full-grown adult, there's no gun. So just pay close attention to me. There's no gun to your head on what you should achieve. Okay, I said that to say this. One of the problems that people have, guys, is they don't even know what they have. So I encountered a situation where, yes, they don't. So they say, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And if you consult with someone like Coach Aniekan or Coach Bibi or any coach that's in your life, right? And they do some kind of analysis on what you have, you would find out that there are resources that you actually have, but you do not know how to utilize those resources. And you have never known how to utilize those resources. But perhaps you need someone, you need a forum like this, or you need a personal coach or someone to guide you on how to articulate those resources to produce something. So another thing is that everybody, for you to even be on this call now, it means that you have airtime to even get on the call. So you're not homeless. You know, I'm assuming that everybody here has a home, has where they live and sleep at night. So as long as if you have a place to sleep and you have a way to move around and you can take care of yourself at the barest minimum, that's your baseline. Now, depending where age is a factor or could be a factor, I mean, come on now, no matter how you want to look at it, 40-something-year-old, 50-something-year-old, we're not in the same space as someone who's 16 and just starting out. Do you understand? So you got to be for real. So you now tell yourself that in this short amount of time, because your time is shorter, I mean, come on, mathematically it's shorter. You know, I know we put all these outfit things, yeah, it's shorter, okay? You now determine, well, I want you to see my hand. So this baseline of just sufficiency, just being able to pay your bills and all that, is baseline, you're fine. Nobody ever said, as long as you're not competing with someone else, nobody ever said you had to have $1 million to have arrived. Nobody, Aniekan said something earlier on about building your own wealth. What is your own wealth? For me, it might be $1 billion. For you, it's just $10,000. So you have to know what that is. And between this level here, this baseline, and wherever that thing is that you want to be, your $1 million level, your $10,000 level, your $1,000 level, how do you get there organically? You have to think about many things. Some months ago, we talked about many other factors that you have to consider. Your health, your family, your own situation. People put a lot of strain on themselves to try to achieve some goal of whatever that is, whatever $1 million, whatever it is. And their health is jeopardized. So as you go into Abiola and anybody else, as you go and do those things, whether it's law school or whatever it is, tell yourself that you're making that goal yourself. Whatever it is that God, your own God wants you to achieve, is what you will achieve, not what they said you should do. So I'm just trying to just give you some comfort so that there's no pressure. There really is no pressure, Aniekan, on achieving. There's none. So you need to have that in mind. Just want to throw that out because there's a lot of pressure on people these days, and the health is at risk just because of business or, you know.
Angie, do you remember you said something to me some years ago when you came for vacation here? You said that pressure, stress is self-induced.
You remember that? You remember that? Yeah, yes, it is.
It's self-induced. So, yes. In other words, whatever it is that you're looking to do, it's okay. Exactly. But please make it yours.
Correct.
Make it yours.
Correct.
If it's something that someone said you could not do, tell them, okay. But make sure that what you're doing from today is what you want to do.
Correct.
Now, I know you have talked about confidence, and I don't know why we're zeroing out on you, but I guess because you're the only one that's kind of asked questions. Because you talk about confidence, so now you're getting confident, but what are you going to do with the confidence? Now you've gotten strength and assurance. But what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? Drill down on what you want to do with it. What's the next step you can take? Is it buy a form? Is it find out how much law school is? Is that what you want to do? Find out. But I want you to not just be motivated or be inspired. Take a step. Something simple and clean that you're going to do as your next step. And I'm glad that I'm seeing people send and say, this is the day to launch my business. That's good. We're going to go into the details. So it means that that's cheat sheet, that 10-step cheat sheet is okay for them, beautiful for something you need to get as your resource. You have to start to get resource. And I know we're on the hour. I'm going to kind of wrap up here. It's always a pleasure, trust me, when we meet like this. It's every Wednesday. But what I have found out is that you are one person away from that one person that I need to do what I need to do next. You're one person away. So sometimes I know you get value. Tell somebody else. Say, hey, listen, you know what? Every Wednesday I kind of hang out here. And you say, you know what, coach, I don't know how to invite somebody. Let me know. I'll send you a simple script you can use. Make sense? So until next week, remember, Friday, we have a program on Friday with Coach Bibi, but Sunday is going to be the first episode of Nuggets for this month. And trust me, if you are a woman or you know any other woman, don't miss it for the world. I'll see you, ladies and gentlemen, same time next week. Have a lovely weekend. Angie, you're always a darling. Thank you very much for showing up. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks so much, Coach.